settle down, our body, mind, and space to receive what Bhagavan Sri Krishna has to impart to all of us in this chapter. So let us sit in any comfortable meditative posture with a head, neck, and spine aligned in one straight line. And just close your eyes and become aware of this physical body. From the head to the toes, your fingertips, settle into this body awareness. And then connect with your breath awareness. Just by breathing in very, very slowly and deeply. Inhale fully to the full lung capacity. Then exhale very slowly and completely. Go on breathing in slowly and deeply. And during the breathing, become aware of the two gaps, the neutral zone or the pause between the breath. So take the time to settle into this restful awareness, because the breath is the bridge between the body and mind. So when you bring awareness to the breathing, you naturally fall into the present moment. So take a few minutes to rein yourself to the present, the here and now. Come to the space of Shravana, authentic listening, where you are just in the pure space of awareness, ready to listen without anything from the past, hangover from the past, just pure absorption of the truth from the master. In that restful awareness, let us all now put your hand in Amajali Mudra, that's invoke Swamiji, by chanting the Sadguru Vandanam, followed by 3 times the Mahavakya. So take a deep breath. Nithyanandam Paramasukaram Kevalam Jnanamutim Vandvatitam Gagana Shatrisham Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Savadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunadahitam Satguruntam Namami. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So once again, a very warm welcome to all of you who are just joining me either here in the Arjuna or through the Zoom online, as well as the social media platform, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. So now, once again, welcome to chapter 16. Today we are entering to the chapter 16. We have 2 more chapters to cover. And let's enter into the outline of today's session. Next slide. So today we are going to cover these few topics under this chapter. First, for the benefit of many people who may have forgotten what we covered in the last chapter 15, of people who are just joining for the first time in today's session. So we'll do a quick recap of what was spoken and what was the essence of the last chapter. Then we will introduce chapter 16. Okay, chapter 16, Daivasura Sampad Yoga. And then we will talk about the yoga of divine and demonic nature, understanding the nature of divine and demonic. Okay? And then Krishna say, understanding you and me. With that understanding, you will be able to awaken the higher consciousness quality within us versus our ego, versus operating from the ego. Then Krishna assures Arjuna, What are the things that he assures him? Let's listen to the Guru, the ultimate incarnation. And then we will be given a technique to experience your divinity. And today you will be given a technique to how to experience your divinity, and then we'll conclude this chapter. So these are the flow of today's session. So with that, I'm going to hand over to our Sri Vedavyasa to start the session. Over to you.
Nithyanandam, everyone. So we resume back the session. Happy to be here. I'm looking forward to. I was.
Delighted to be here back again.
Yeah. So now we'll start with the mantra and invoke Bhagavan Sri Krishna before we enter. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. I salute unto you, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Guru, Master of the world, Son of Vasudeva, Supreme Bliss of Devaki, Destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura. Now, let us invoke the sacred knowledge of Bhagavad Gita with a mantra. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadasadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini. Om, I meditate upon you, Bhagavad Gita, the affectionate Divine Mother, showering the nectar of Advaita, non-duality, and destroying rebirth, incorporated into the midst of Mahabharata of 18 chapters by sage Vyasa, the author of the Puranas, and imparted to Arjuna by Bhagavan Sriman Narayana himself. Now, before we go deeply into the 16th chapter, let me just give a small recap, because everything is a continuation of each other. So let me remind you a little bit. If you all remember, in the chapter 14, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, Yoga of the division of 3 guna attributes, Krishna speaks about the first 4 layers of our being. In 15th chapter, Purushottama Yoga, Yoga of the Supreme Being, he refers to the 5th layer. Please understand, the totality of the 7 layers is our body, mind, spirit system. In the previous chapter, Sri Krishna explains how we create conflicting desires and suffer with rajas, restlessness, and forced into tamas, inactivity or depression. The 5th layer is the causal body. It is where all samskaras, our root patterns, are stored in seed form. Bhagavan explained previously how to use the power of desire energy with the power of thinking and words. Now, Krishna moves on to the next layer where samskaras are stored in the seed form. Sri Krishna speaks of techniques to destroy these bija samskara. Bija means seed, with the power of thinking, and seed form samskaras. Sri Krishna says, the roots of the tree are on the outside, the branches are inside. Please understand and listen carefully. From the causal body, Sri Krishna says, the roots of the tree are in the physical body. The tree of samskaras is watered by the 5 senses of the physical body and our actions. The samskaras in seed form in the causal body are formed and watered by the 5 senses of the physical body. He says, one who knows this Ashwadha tree is the knower of the Vedas. So this tree, this system, where all these roots and the branches, everything about samskaras and all this is called Ashwadha tree. So this Ashwadha tree is known. He says such a person is a knower of Vedas. Here, Sriman Narayana says, means Krishna says, those who are free from pride, delusion, and attachment, those who dwell in the self, who are complete with lust, who are free from the dualities of joy and sorrow, who are not confused, and who know how to surrender to the Supreme Person, such people attain the eternal consciousness. Understand? Here, Krishna reveals another secret. He says, you create a body according to the root thought patterns or samskaras in the causal layer. Krishna is taking Arjuna into a deeper understanding now. Krishna talks about Purusha, the principle of energy that underlies our existence. He says, not only Purusha and Prakriti, he says Purusha is twofold. One, imperishable, and the other, perishable. He says, all living beings are the perishable Purusha, and they are situated in the imperishable energy. Understand, listen carefully. All living beings are the perishable Purusha, but they are situated in the imperishable energy. He says, there is Supreme Purusha beyond this. So, he declares, know me as the Supreme, so that you know everything. So boldly how he is declaring that such Supreme Purusha is he himself. He is declaring that. Now, in Daivasura Sampadvibhaga Yoga, the 16th chapter, Sri Krishna speaks extensively about deeper body-mind layer, the causal body. Actually, in Purushottama Yoga or the Yoga of the Perfected Being, he spoke about causal layer depth. Now, Krishna points out how the body-mind system is like a unique tree with its roots in the physical world and the branches in the causal world. In this chapter, 16th chapter, he moves deeper into cosmic layer. There, he spoke about deeply about causal layer. Here, he moves into the deeper energy layers of the body-mind system and takes us to the cosmic layer. Sri Krishna speaks about the qualities of the divine, Daiva, and the demonic qualities, the Asura. He speaks about you and me. Please understand, human beings are born with innate divine nature. They are not sinners. Whether we act divine, Daivik, or demonic Asura, our inner space is divine. So, how do we awaken the space of divinity within us again? This is what Sri Krishna reveals. Sri Krishna speaks about the qualities of the divine. Of course, about Asura also. The beauty of this is that both these words, divine and demonic, both these words have the same root. Same root. Please understand, all the root thought patterns or bio-memories, samskaras are stored in this layer, causal layer. They operate without our control. Please understand, they operate without our control. Decisions are made without our knowledge. Lot of our decisions we make without our knowledge. However, at the deeper level, in the cosmic layer, we decide consciously. You or me, divine or demon, Daiva or Asura, when we make the decision of you, we radiate divine qualities. Please understand? You. When we think about others. When we make the decision of me, mine, we radiate demonic qualities. So we need to understand you and me properly. The word me means ego. The word you means the whole of existence. When our identity evaporates, when our ego dissolves, whatever is left is existence. It is divine, Daivik. We create the demon by bringing in the idea of me. The moment we bring in the idea of me, whatever is there is demonic. Listen deeply. The moment we bring in the idea of me, whatever is there is demonic. The moment the me idea is removed, whatever is there is divine. Next.
So here's a question from the seeker. So we understood about the divine qualities or the divine dimension in us. So what constitute the higher consciousness quality or divine qualities we're talking about.
Yes. What are the higher consciousness qualities? See, understand, Sri Krishna lists a number of qualities that take us to a higher plane of consciousness, the qualities that make us divine. Bhagavan tells us to be without fear and greed and anger. He says to be truthful, simple, meek, gentle, non-violent, and without expectations, and to renounce. I will repeat. You can even make the notes. Understand? Very important point. How do we go to the higher planes of consciousness? Bhagavan says, asks us to be without fear and greed and anger. He says, we need to be truthful, straightforward, simple, meek, gentle, non-violent, not having expectations. We need to renounce all the demonic qualities, me qualities. So, these are the qualities of the divine that you express when you are focused not on yourself, but when you are focused on others. Swamiji always says, live for others. Life is for others. These qualities arise from heart, not from mind. Mind gives different logics, isn't it? So what is demonic nature? Now, Bhagavan already told about divine qualities. So what is demonic nature? Sri Krishna says that all actions done out of arrogance, pride, ego, for name and fame, for power, all these are demonic in nature.
You want to repeat again?
Yeah.
These qualities so that people catch it.
Yeah.
Slow down.
See, what is the demonic nature? Actions done out of pride, arrogance, ego, name and fame, for power. All these are demonic nature. What are the divine qualities? No. What are the qualities which will take to our higher consciousness? Giving up fear and greed and anger. Being truthful, straightforward, no hypocrisy, no cunningness. Being simple, gentle, non-violent, not having expectations, renouncing, dropping all the expectations and desires. Please understand, when we have a desire and when we drop it, that does not mean that desire will not manifest. Suppose we want something, universe already knows the moment that want arose inside, universe already knows about it. We don't have to fuel our desire. We don't have to do anything. Just renounce it. Surely, whatever is needed for our life will happen. So all these qualities are divine qualities. And further, Sri Krishna explains how to imbibe divine nature. How to imbibe divine nature. This whole chapter is about that. Here, he gives the straight, subtle technique to replace the I with you. I means demonic, you means divine, isn't it? To experience the consciousness of you, the consciousness of whole, Daivika Sampad or divine nature of your being, first you need to find out if your thinking is acting as divine inside you or as a demon inside you. Why don't you all just look inside? Just a moment, close your eyes, look inside. For you to experience the consciousness of the whole, you need to first think, find out. Today, whole day, was your thinking acting as divine inside you? Or was it acting like a demon inside you? Demon is I. Divine is you. Tell me. Hey, you means, I don't mean you blaming others for any mistake. Hey, you did this. No, I don't mean that you. You means, I mean, thinking for others, helping others, living for others, sacrificing for others, all those things. So sit one moment and think about it. Close your eyes and think. You need to find out what's going inside you. Today, at least today, what did you do? Were you at least once did you think about others today, whole day? Look inside. Now, after hearing about you and me, Arjuna has a fear. Arjuna has a fear now, doubt now. He is asking, hey Bhagavan, am I living with divine or demonic nature? He is not expressing that feeling, but his face reveals his fear. So naturally, Sri Krishna explains that living with transcendental qualities, that is, the right space of you, if you live with those qualities, such person achieves liberation or enlightenment, nivritti. By living with the space of I, we create more bondage. The demonic qualities make for bondage, meaning pravritti. If you live with the transcendental quality of the right space of you, will achieve liberation or enlightenment, nivritti. Pravritti is demonic quality, nivritti is liberating quality. So here, Sri Krishna assures Arjuna, naturally, Bhagavan has to teach, at the same time have to make sure that Arjuna is not falling into depression, isn't it? So, Krishna assures Arjuna not to worry. He says, Arjuna, Partha, you are born with divine qualities. Let me assure you, if this fear arises in you, you are divine. The person who is ready to look within, the person who is afraid if he is living rightly or wrongly, always lives rightly. Only the person who is arrogant is demonic. The energy that is within us, the energy that drives us, is the same energy that drives this universe. See, understand, even when I'm talking about this, you should be feeling that light breeze inside you. I am feeling, I am experiencing. Even when I'm uttering just these words, I am experiencing a light breeze inside me. Small, blissful, light breeze. The energy of this Bhagavad Gita is such that you will go into the experience immediately, even while you are listening. Just sit simple, open, without any biased mind, without any judgment. Sit with open mind, sit with straightforward simpleness in your heart, and I assure you, you will experience that bliss, even while you are listening to me. Please understand, the energy that is within us, the energy that drives us, is the same energy that drives this universe. This energy is intelligence, the highest intelligence. Sri Krishna says that when we are unable to recognize this energy, we are demonic. When we are in a state of low intelligence, alpa buddhi, we become demons. Alpa buddhi means low intelligence, narrow-mindedness, biased mind. All this is called alpa buddhi. We become demons. Please understand, low intelligence leads to cruel deeds. Sri Krishna now shows how a person with demonic nature can destroy himself. Out of pride, arrogance, and hypocrisy, such a person moves in a path directed by purely selfish and material objectives that produce suffering. Sri Krishna has said in other verses that he will receive anyone with compassion and liberate them. Here, he also talks about people who feel no need to surrender to him. Please understand, he says they are so full of ego that they feel Bhagavan is their competitor. Oh God. He says he will cast them into the material world. Please understand, only if his grace is there, only if we surrender, we will at least know about you. Otherwise, if we have the ego and arrogance, and if we feel he is our competitor, what will happen? What is the punishment we receive? He will cast us into the material world. Even Krishna cannot change it because he has given us the power to decide whether we want to be me or you. Focused Asuri, demonic, or Daivik, divine. We have a choice. The feeling of you and the absence of me dissolve the idea of I as identity. Please understand, this you is the foundation of surrender. The feeling of you we should have, the absence of me, which dissolves the idea of I we should have. Then what will happen? This you is the foundation of surrender. The courage to move from me to you is the courage to trust, to love, and to surrender. When that happens, there is nothing else but him. There's nothing else but Paramashiva. There's nothing else but Sri Krishna. We become Krishna. When we are one with the universe, one with Sri Krishna, we have reached eternal bliss, Nithyananda.
So here's another question from the seeker. So see, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling us to create a space of surrender to him. And Swamiji, our Guru, is also saying to us that creating the space by visualization in the present makes things happen in reality. I think many of us have tried that, but nothing happens. Why?
Wow, that's a great question. A lot of people have this doubt. Yes, whole book, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling us to create a space of surrender, the divine quality. Swamiji told many times that creating a space in the present with visualization, we can just make things happen in reality. Yes, many people say we have tried, but nothing happens. Why? Because, understand, nothing happens because you are full of self-contradiction, self-doubt, self-hatred, and impossibilities. If we wish to get rid of back pain, and if we keep saying, let this back pain go, it will never go. Every time we utter the words back pain, our mind latches more firmly onto the past hangover of pain. If we want to get rid of pain, we must complete with all self-doubts and create the space for health visualizing it in the present. Not pain, not getting rid of pain, but feeling healthy. When you create the space to make something into reality, complete with all the doubts, complete with all the impossible ideas that come to you, complete with your ability to even create the space. Stand up powerfully without listening to any form of impossible shouted by your mind towards you. I'll give you an example, guys. Once Swamiji told, there are 100 doors in the hall, in a big hall. Somebody says, Bhagavan will say, the door number 4 is open. Immediately we assume that all the other doors are closed. He never mentioned that all the other doors are closed, isn't it? He just said, door number 4 is open. That's it. But we already decide and assume, and we carry the impossibility, oh, only the door is open. How 1,000 people in this hall will go through the door? All others are closed. We already shut the doors, isn't it? So we always carry impossibility in every step of our way. Every single time our mind confuses us with impossibility. Drop the impossibility, complete with the self-doubt. That is when you will be able to create a space, proper right space. See,
So, sorry, I was just kind of curious. How many of you are always in this impossibility whenever, raise your hand, that when something is spoken, but the mind is automatically thinking of the impossibility, like, you can't even think that other doors are open. You only think that, oh, the rest of the door are closed for you. How many have this kind of tendency to not even be open to new possibility? How many? Raise your hand to have a look. Here got two. And then here, okay. Okay, so good. You know where you're stuck, right? Where you kind of limit yourself. Okay, continue.
I'll give another example. Suppose
Great.
somebody has a serious abdomen issue. Suppose last 25 years. So anything before eating, oh, last 25 years, this did not agree, that does not agree. I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. Please understand, there's no guarantee that next moment that food is not going to agree with us. Isn't it? Yes, last 25 years it did not agree. So what? Next moment a possibility might open. So we shouldn't be shutting the doors at all. That is what Bhagavan is saying. Please understand, when you create a space, first thing itself you will face is depression of past failures and complete distrust. How can this be reality? Oh, I suffered too much. I know it is not possible. This is the first thing you go through, and 2 days you get depressed and lock yourself in the bedroom. So understand, when you create a space, this is the first thing you face. So complete with that first. Completion with that is the most important thing. That is when the space which Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling is possible. See, let me define space creation. I am defining space creation. Bringing your past hangover into the present is incompletion. Bringing your future possibility into the present is space. Please listen. Bringing your past hangover into the present is incompletion. Bringing your future possibility into the present is space creation. Bring your future possibility into the present and decide you will not challenge the power of the space, but you will take the responsibility to fulfill that space. When you surrender to Sri Krishna, our surrender must be total. We must take the responsibility to fulfill the space of surrender. There can be nothing between him and us. Then he surely liberates us, because then we are already liberated. We are in Sri Krishna's consciousness. See, once you understand how to love the people around you, only then you can love God. You cannot hate your neighbor, brother, or spouse and love only God. That is impossible. When you start loving those around you, you start loving yourself more. This is what surrender is about. Surrender is the search for the divine principle. Call it God, truth, freedom, or nirvana. They mean the same thing. This is what Sri Krishna talks about in this chapter. The courage to move from me to you is the courage to trust, love, and surrender. When that happens, there is nothing else except Him. We will become Sri Krishna himself we can chant 2 slokas. You can repeat. Om Trividham
Om Trividam
Narakshasyedam
Naraskashenam
Dvaram Nasana
Dwaram Nashanam
Matmanaha
Matmanaha
Kamah Krodasthatha
Kama Krodasta
Sthatha
Stata
Lobhas
Lobas
Tasmadetattrayam Tyajet
Tasmadete
Tasmadetattrayam Tyajet. Translation: there are 3 gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. As they lead to the degradation of the soul, these 3 are to be abandoned. Understand? The next sloka, Om Etair Vimukhatah Kaunteya.
Om Ete Dritmuka Teya
Kaunteya
Auteya
Tamo Dvaraistribhir Naraha
Tamo Dvairaidishti Taraha. Long.
Tamo Dvaraistribhir Naraha
Tamo
Dvaraistribhir Naraha
Dvairaha. Okay.
Acharatyatmanaha
Acharatyam Madaha
Shreyas
Streyas
Tato Yati
Tato Yati
Param Gatim.
Parangatim.
Those who have escaped these 3 gates of hell, O Kaunteya, behave in a manner beneficial to the evolution of the soul and thus gradually attain the supreme destination. This is the translation. Anyhow, now Sri Krishna concludes this chapter, ends the chapter with these words: shed anger, greed, and lust, we will be saved. These qualities blind us to me and mine. As long as we are bound by anger, lust and greed, kama, krodhas, tatha, lobhas, what he calls the 3 gateways to hell, trividham narakasyedam, we are in suffering. When we shed these, we are liberated. When these 3 combine, they create moha or delusion. Please understand. I'll repeat once more. Bhagavan is asking us to shed anger, greed, and lust, which will save us. Because this anger, greed, and lust will bind us to me and mine. As long as we are bound to these 3, which are called as 3 gates to hell, we are in suffering. But when we shed all these 3, we are liberated. When these, please understand, when these 3 combine together, they create moha, attachment, or delusion. At one level, these emotions are desires. Understand? Desires are energy. Each desire is the seed of suffering. That is why Sri Krishna calls it a gateway to hell. But how do we get rid of these desires? What Sri Krishna asks us to do is to complete these negative emotions and transform them into positive energies. The energy that is within us, that energy that drives us, is the same energy that drives this universe. This energy is intelligence, highest intelligence. Sri Krishna says that when we are unable to recognize this energy, we are demonic. I've already mentioned this, that when we are in this state of low intelligence, alpa buddhi, we become demons. Sri Krishna is showing us how a person with demonic nature can destroy himself. Out of pride, arrogance, hypocrisy, what will happen? Such person will move in the path directed by purely selfish and material objectives that produce suffering. So here, Bhagavan is giving us a technique to experience your divinity. I will give you the technique. Somebody is sending a message. Let me just read the message. Okay, somebody is asking for a story. I'll give you a small story. Somebody is asking for a story. Okay. This direct message is given to me. Okay. I'll tell you. See, Sri Krishna does not want to let go. He wants Arjuna and mankind to understand how deeply the human psyche is damaged by the ego. Okay? Please understand, Shankara, the great Shankara, Adi Shankaracharya, defines ahara or food in one of his commentaries. Food means to all sensory inputs. Whereas traditionally ahara is translated as food. This is what Bhagavan Shankara says. When he says ahara, he means sensory inputs. So every sensory organ has its own ahara inputs upon which it feeds. See, please understand. Bhagavan is talking about, Sri Krishna spoke about samskaras which are fanned, which are fueled by our five senses only, isn't it? The eye, ear, tongue, nose, skin, all these things, desires, isn't it? Anyway. So, but Patanjali also spoke about pratyahara, one of the 8 methods of his Ashtanga Yoga. Means pratyahara is not suppression or starving the senses. Just as we need to eat in order to live, the senses need inputs to function. But we should not weave fantasies. Anyhow, a small story I will tell you. Two friends met in the street. One of them looked sad and almost on the verge of tears. The other one asked, "What happened? Why do you look so sad?" He replied, "My uncle passed away 3 weeks ago. He left me $50,000. His friend said. Then that friend said, "Wow, that's not bad." He continued, "2 weeks ago, my cousin died and he left me $90,000. Then this friend cried, "Wow, this is great." So the other one, he went on, "Last week, my grandfather died. He left me $1 million. Again, this friend asked, "Then why are you so sad?" He replied, "Because this week nobody died." Look at that. So, once we allow our mind to get driven away by the senses, there is no stopping. We won't know how to make it stop either. So we continue with our fantasies. So that's what Bhagavan is talking here about. Give up the greed. Give up the desire, which is the cause for suffering. Give up the lust. This is what Bhagavan is saying. So hopefully I fulfilled somebody's wish, asking for a story. So there's no end for our pleasures, isn't it? Anyhow, let me share an important technique that Lord Krishna speaks. Now, for 3 days, all of you note this. For 3 days, create a space and think, feel that you are somebody else. It may seem funny. Note it down. Note this point. 3 days, create a space and think and feel that you are somebody else. You are not you. For instance, if you are a doctor, for 3 days, think you are a sports person or a divine being such as Shiva. Try with whoever you feel connected. Means what? Suppose you are connected to Krishna. Try like that. If you are connected to Swamiji, try like that. If you are connected to Devi, Parashakti, try like that. Whomever you connect to. Suppose you are a teacher. For 3 days, think you are a doctor. Or you are Krishna. Suppose you are a singer. Think you are a carpenter. Or Bhagavan Shiva. So, clearly visualize yourself as that divine being. Whoever is your Ishtadevata. The moment you change the idea about you, the root cognition about yourself, a tremendous freedom happens to you. All of you must be feeling you're a homemaker or you're a teacher or you're something, you're an IT engineer, something. Leave that identity. For 3 days, think you are either Shiva, either somebody else, either Krishna, something. Just clearly visualize yourself as the divine being for 3 days. Visualizing, please understand. The moment you change the idea, the root cognition about yourself, just see. Please tell me next week the experience. A tremendous freedom happens to you. You will see a new consciousness rising inside you. If you throw away the me, that alone liberates you. And if you start working on you, you experience tremendous bliss. You means I'm not meaning you. I am meaning you thinking about others. Okay? So start working on that. You will experience tremendous bliss. This is the straight path to peace and bliss. All the IT engineers here, all the people who are working women, working men, whoever you're working, by the time you come home and you're feeling stressed out, next 3 days, just cognize that you are not you. You are somebody else. Clearly visualize that somebody else in you. It is safe to think about some God, okay? You will see all the stress will go out of the window. You will experience path to peace and bliss. Anybody who wants peace, anybody who doesn't want stress, this is the technique.
Why is so interesting this technique? Because, like one of the things that Swami has given many of us when we're initiated with a spiritual name, and many of them have got divine names like myself, right? My name is Duga, right? Dugananda. So when I literally feel myself as Adi Shakti,
Yes.
Parashakti, I realize that there's so much new, like the powerfulness, the strength, that comes from that energy. It's just amazing. It's like how that just by cognizing, shifting your root cognition, who you are, that shift, even by Guru's grace giving you that name, just immediately drop the old me, that I have a operating at a different consciousness. So I can totally relate with this technique. It's
Yeah,
true.
very true. So
Very
leave
powerful.
your identity. It may seem funny, but it's really not. You just try this. Try this today, next 3 days, and all of you, you have to tell me your experiences in the next week session. Okay?
Yeah, I
This
think
is
all
the
of you.
homework. This is the homework. You will love it. I'm telling you, the moment you experience little peace, from next week, you yourself will practice this. Okay? Anyhow, now let me conclude the 16th chapter. Please understand, when you are a witness, the me and mine will drop. What remains is identification with your energy. The moment you stop thinking about me, mine, all that, what will happen? Whatever is remaining, it's only an identification with your energy. In that state, you are one with all. You are one with the whole. You are in the space of living Advaita, oneness, living the truth that everything is you and you are everything. Everything is you and you are everything. So let us pray to the ultimate energy, Paradbrahma, Sri Krishna, the divine consciousness, to bless us all with Daiva Sampad and establish us in eternal bliss, Nithyananda. So next.
I think all of you can ask any questions and questions from seekers. You can type it on the chat if you have clarification you want to do at this juncture. We have some time. So any question, please fill it through the chat box, and then Sri Veda Vyasa will answer them one by one. I hope you enjoyed today's chapter. I thoroughly enjoyed. It's like so enlightening for me. Okay, any question? Let me see. Anyone's typing away? Any questions? Have you read the chapter? Paul wants to ask.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because at the start, Ma, I think you mentioned about, to renounce and to drop the desires. Yeah, could you elaborate a bit more on that? Because, yeah, I think you mentioned something like, once you actually had that thought, actually it's already being given to you or something.
Pardon?
So, because I mean, as in, yeah, I wasn't very, very clear on just now you mentioned about, at the start, you actually mentioned something about like renouncing and dropping the desires. So, yeah, but
No,
then again,
what I'm saying is, Ma,
yes,
basically our expectations are the root cause for our suffering.
yes,
Right? So what I was saying is, when we are the universe and universe is us, the moment something generates inside, already universe is aware of that. Suppose for our life, we need something. Something needful is there. Already the universe will supply the resource for that need. So we don't have to sit there and go on expecting or desiring about something, because that will only create impossibility and self-doubt inside us. So we will not be able to create the right space. So naturally, it will not become reality. So Bhagavan is asking us to renounce that extreme desire, the lust, the greed, and the anger that we are not able to manifest. The moment we drop those, actually the needful things in our life will become real. We don't have to expect or desire about them. We just need to drop them. Drop the desire and expectation. The needful things will always happen. So Bhagavan is asking us to renounce that, because they are demonic qualities where it will lead us to do cruel deeds. Our lust, our greed, our anger will lead us to do cruel deeds. So he's asking us to renounce them. And he's asking us to live simple, straightforward, gentle. You understand? That way, when the divine quality is improving, naturally all the things which are needful to the life will become into reality. Because a right space will be getting created. That's what Bhagavan is saying.
right.
Yeah.
So they answer your doubt? Oh?
Yes, yes. Because I was actually a bit confused, like, okay, we have outside of this session, we have another session, like, like how do you consciously manifest your desires, right? So I was kind of confused with that.
No, manifesting desire is creating the right space. So all the needful desires for your life will manifest into reality. The borrowed desires are the desires which are called expectations. They are actually not needful, they are borrowed. So those are expectations which create suffering, because when some things don't happen in our life, isn't it? So any needful desire for your life is already coming with a certain energy which will become into reality when you carry this divine quality. Renounce those expectations, because these expectations will create self-doubt, conflicting thoughts, fear. So naturally, which will never let the reality to happen. Understand?
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Any more questions from the Zoom room? Looks like everybody is happy or already bliss out.
I've got a question.
Oh, you have a question? Okay, come. Please ask.
So when I'm just munching about the me and you, because I think Swamiji or someone, thoughts that rise from you, like it bounces off your identity before it comes out. And then how are you going to differentiate that between you, because every thought that comes out of bouncing from your identity.
Okay.
Am I messing it up? Because if you're thinking about you as an entity outside of your own desires,
See, when I'm saying you and me, please understand, me always comes with our identity, I and mine. You means whatever we are doing, it will always be for the welfare of everything around us. We usually feel responsible, everything around us. The moment we feel responsible for everything around us, naturally that gentleness and that love, everything will happen towards everybody. So we will be able to love everything equally. The moment when we start loving other people, that is the real love towards God. So it will start manifesting. The moment I is there, me is there, it's always coming from our identity, isn't it? That is the reason this technique is given, that you forget yourself and your identity for next 3 days. Visualize yourself as some divine personality which you like. That is the moment you experience the freedom from yourself, that is when you will be able to differentiate between you and I.
Okay.
let me tell you.
See, these things are not logically understood. See, I can explain logically many things, but logical explanation will again make you question from your identity. Understand? Only when you experience the freedom from your identity, you will actually understand what I'm talking about, you and me. Understood?
So do the technique, then come back.
Yes. Next week.
Next week, please practice for 3 days and see the miraculous happening in the inner space and the
Yes,
things.
actually something will click. You will understand.
Yes, yes.
The understanding need not be with a bunch of words. Please understand, a click means it doesn't come with words. It's just a kind of experience, that's it. So there will not be any words for it. You will just understand it, that's it.
Yes. Like it's like a knowing, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, now next we have a special announcement.
Yes, now let's go to before we conclude, I'm going to get you to have a few announcements. One of the special announcements, as we know that tomorrow we start the festive celebration of Rajeshwari Brahmosama. Okay, so tomorrow is the day one of that. And culminating to the one major rituals that is going to come is we are energizing your Amalinga with the Sri Vidya Puja. And also you get special initiation by Swamiji. So this is available on the 25th of February, which is, I think for Asia timing will be on the 26th morning, okay? So if you're interested to offer this seva, please let either, myself or if let's say you're from Telangana, you know who to go to. the causes, and they will help you to facilitate this seva. Okay, next. So once again, as we know that the new seasons of Paramashiva Home level 1, 2, 3 will start this Saturday, 17th of February. So as we are coming to this whole elevated consciousness of everything is you, or let's go out to enrich as many people as possible, helping them to receive this, this gift from Swamiji. Since the program is now absolutely free, it's a free program which gives you a lot of not only powerful cognition as well as initiation by the Guru. So at least get them to attend certain days. If let's say they're not able to attend 21 days on one row, they can attend certain days and come back in next season to fill up the gaps that they have missed. So this is what we want to encourage everybody to attend the next seasons of Paramashiva Home. And because this coming season it will culminate into the grand celebration of Mahashivaratri. Mahaparamashivaratri is going to happen on the 8th of March. That is where this coming season ends. So it's going to be a grand celebration across the globe in all the Sangha. So, and you never know when Swamiji is the build-up leading up to this celebration of Mahaparamashivaratri, there will be special satsangs, special initiations that he may give. So please attend the daily live darshan as much as you can. So let's come to the last slide. So I really want to thank everybody for your participation, for coming into this session after a 2 weeks hiatus or break. So once again, a reminder from Swamiji, he said to have a breakthrough in knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and to manifest abundance in your life. Talk to 11 people daily about this book and this great knowledge that he's sharing with the world, and bring them to the next session. Because as you know that we are now left with 2 chapters, 17 and 18. So yeah, we're going to finish this Bhagavad Gita decoded soon. So anyway, if you don't have the physical book, please go and download the ebook through this link as shown on the slide on the screen. And the next session, which is next week, we'll touch on chapter 17, Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. So that's going to be another exciting revelation of the deeper truth. So with that, I'd like to conclude the session. So shall we conclude with the Buddha mantra? So join the class. Yes, Ma, you want to say something?
Yes, Ma. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnameva Vashishyate.
Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.
So Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Pauraka Paramasu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you, Nithyanandam. Thank you all for joining. This was a great session. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, everybody.
See you all.
Thank you. See you all.